Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are. We're going to start in a couple of minutes, so we have some time to grab a cup of coffee, a soda, some popcorns, because we're going to have a really fun session today. The Q&A window is open, so feel free to drop any question or comment. Also, we have available if you raise your hand, you will have the chance to get those questions live. I will open the mic and the camera, so that's a good opportunity for you to engage with our special speakers today. In a couple of minutes, we are starting the session. We are starting in 2 minutes. As a reminder, the Q&A window is open for your questions or comments. And raise your hand if you want to ask a live question. I will open the mic and camera. So that's another way to engage with our special speakers today. Okay, so hello everyone. Thank you so much for being here with us today. Welcome to our C15 Roadmap and Release 22 webinar. I'm Adrian from Mexico City with Ribbon's global marketing team. Please let us know where are you joining from. Drop it in the Q&A window. We really love to hear from you and from what part of the world you're joining. Remember that this isn't a one-way street. We want to hear from you. Drop your thoughts in the Q&A window. Later on, we'll open the mic so you can chat directly with our speakers. Okay, so it's time to meet the brains behind the tech, our awesome engineer speakers for today. We have Buddy McMillan, Norman Caron, and James Ham. Welcome, guys. How are you today?
We're good.
Doing good.
Good.
That's great. Okay, so before we dive in, let's warm up with a quick fun question for you guys and for the audience. So please, let's have fun and drop the the answers on the in the chat window. If you could instantly download a skill into your brain like the Matrix, what would it be? Buddy?
Let's see. If I could do anything I wanted to do, I'd like to be invisible. That way I could know a lot of different things and people wouldn't know I knew it.
That's always fun. What about you? What about you, Norman?
Well, I'm a bit of a sports guy. If I could actually play like a pro hockey player, I would have really liked it. If they could download that to me, I'd be appreciative of it. I do enjoy playing hockey, just not very well.
That would be really fun. And you, James, choose your skill.
Oh, I'd like to be able to remember people's names. Just terrible at it. Takes me months to keep a name in my head.
Yeah, that happens to me. I also I try to get like some characteristic of the person, but I'm really bad with names. Like I can remember maybe the face, but no names.
Exactly.
That's really fun. Okay, I think that we're pretty much ready. Buddy, take it away.
Okay, let me share my slides. Take just a second here to load them. Okay, I'm Buddy McMillan. I live in the Raleigh area, and I'm responsible for C15 design and PLM. Today, we're going to talk about the C15 roadmap, our plans for the coming years, and go into the release content we have for release 22, which is currently in VO and moving towards a general availability date of November the 7th. Go forward here. We currently have over 450 C15s in service. The C15's been in the rural market since 2008. When we look at our C15 release cycle management, R20 went GA 2 years ago. It will be going end of R&D support on December 31st of this year. Our life cycle is roughly about 24 to 26 months, depending on what month we put it out. So R21, which is currently of active load, went last November the 11th. It will be active until the end of 2026. R22, which I mentioned that we have in VO right now, and a planned GA date of November 7th, and it will be active until December of 2027. And we also have plans for R23 in Q4 of next year and R24 in Q4 of the following year. And our plan is to put out a new load every year with a two-year life cycle. And if a load is active or general availability, as we call it, you get full R&D support. That's we do features, we do patches, and of course you have technical support. When we look at our roadmap summary, release 20 went general available in September of 23. You can see here the features that we introduced, and like I said, it will be going end of R&D at the end of this year. Last year, we put out release 21. We had 3 features and some software delivery upgrade enhancements that we did. And for this year, we have 5 features, and our main feature is 603 plus network block messages. This is a FCC mandate that we have to be 603 plus compliant March 25th of next year. We've also done some software delivery upgrade enhancements that helps our team do seamless and hitless upgrades. Okay, I'm going to turn it over to Norm Curran now to talk about last year's plan of record on our currently active release 21.
Hello, everyone. So this is just a summary of what we delivered in release 21, some the main features. We enhanced, or we provided the query capabilities for this to the CNAM, the E800, and the LMP databases. We provided either through the CLI or as well as through the GUI. On top of that, we did a ability to enter a peerage ID on an ISIP trunk group, so that for ISIP originations going out over SIP trunk groups with STIR/SHAKEN, that we can include that in the invite. We did several software upgrade enhancements, primarily driven by our software upgrade team. A couple of resident commands to help them monitor the upgrades before and after. On top of that, we did not mentioned here was that we did some enhancements to the call history recorder to output some additional messaging that we can help track and resolve problems more quickly. And that's kind of what we did. Vadi, if you want to move to the next slide.
Okay. Yep. So Jim will go over our Release 22 plan of record. So I'll turn it over to you, Jim.
So I'm Jim Ham, and I'm responsible for design of the feature content on the C15. So for this release, as Vadi said, we've got a 603 plus network blocking capability. We've been able to handle 603 messages from the far end when we do an invite for nearly forever with VoIP calling, but we did not handle what is called the reason header in the 603 plus type information when it's a network block. And prior to us doing this enhancement, if we had gotten the new 603 plus back on a SIP invite out on a SIP packet trunk, we would have converted it back to the old 603 decline and would not have included the reason information that is supposed to be available with the 603 plus. In addition to being able to tandem through any of those responses that we do get with the exact information that is given to us in the reason header, we have the ability to configure 603 plus information in the C15 so that when the C15 has decided that a call should be blocked as a network block, not as a subscriber block, that we would send back information to the originator over SIP interfaces, and there are configuration data that must be configured in the C15 as a part of 603 plus. So you have an option of providing a telephone number that they can contact to see how they could get their number not blocked by us. For instance, somehow or another on calling party nuisance blocking, you decide to block a number that really you shouldn't block, but somebody had spoofed their number and was flooding you with calls, and you've put it on this calling party nuisance blocking list. The real subscriber is now trying to call and can't get through. Well, you either enter in the C15, and you can optionally enter all of them, but you need to at least put in either a contact telephone number, a contact web page with a URL, or a contact email address so that they can contact the office and have some way of resolving legitimate calls from being blocked. There's also an origination ID. If you have STIR/SHAKEN today, part of STIR/SHAKEN is that you provide an origination ID that you obtain for your office. With 603 plus, you can either use that origination ID or optionally configure a separate one for handling this particular condition. So along with all of those things, there's a lot of TTY messaging and log file information collected, and we allow for the limiting of how much of that occurs and even disabling of it. It can get pretty high if you happen to have a lot of spammers spoofing numbers that are blocked on national lists and such. So when we're tandeming a 603 plus, there are possibilities that your originating SIP trunk groups into you don't like or accept 603 plus. You can disable it on a trunk group basis, and it'll go back to just sending a 603 decline and not provide that reason information. You can do the same thing with your PRI line trunk group interfaces. For your lines, we will give that information back to your SIP lines. We only do that on either an office-wide basis, enabled or disabled. So this is the major feature that's gone into the C15 for this release. Going on to other things that have gone into the release, in Demo Hunt, we've had our customers say that they're getting complaints from uses of multi-ring groups, that they're getting reports that they've had overflows, people not able to get through to them, and they don't think that they're using the call limit number of calls that are allowed at any given time. And so we've added a couple of pieces of data to the query command for querying an MRG that will tell you what that current call limit is right now, the current calls against the call limit, and we keep an overflow count. The overflow count only lasts a day, but from our experience so far, people who complain about this complain it within hours of it happening, and so you can see how many overflows there have been during that day. Going on to our next feature. So we've added the ability to get certain messages recorded in the call history server in previous release, in release 21. We've added the ability to disable which messages actually go over to the call history server. Call history server can be monitored, and in fact, there are people that are able to look at those and see those messages today. But we collect a fairly large number of messages, and they're only interested in a small number of them for monitoring. So with this, you can disable all the ones that you're not interested in and get the messages that you might want. There are about 125 different output message manual messages that are captured today. This does allow for expansion in the future. There are possibilities of capturing additional ones with patching. Not all of these messages that are included could have been included with a patch and would have required a new release to get the message into this table. But with the query command in DMO config, you can actually get the list of all of the messages that are captured and whether they are enabled or disabled. By default, all of them are enabled. So if we can go on to the next slide, Lonnie. So with DMO Net Gateway, we've had several customers that are collapsing EMCCs into the host, but they've been using the EMCC where it is the alternate core for SIP devices that are in that area and that could be serviced by a secondary ESA core controller. And when they do the collapse, it's difficult to find which of the SIP gateways that are out there should be modified so that they no longer point at the EMCC because it's being removed and all of those are being collapsed into the core. This command gives you a list of all of those gateways so that you don't have to do them. Essentially, it's one at a time, or you have to query out the entire gateway information and go looking for each of the ones that are on that EMCC. So DMO route, there's a list route command, list route iRoute, intercepted route. So there have been several people that have requested this saying, I've got a large intercept group that I've been intercepting using a hundreds group, and I need to break it out because now some of those numbers are going to another subscriber and I need to intercept to different places. Well, with this command and parameters on the command, you can actually get a list in the format of the intercept. So you can take each of those and just feed them into DMODN to change it from being a hundreds group down into being tens groups or into being DNs, and not have to go through and modify each of those manually and build all the commands. So with nearly all of our releases, we do something or another for software delivery, trying to make it smoother, easier for the upgrades. Our upgrades have traditionally been very successful, practically 100% without failure, and I can only think of a single failure in the last few years where we were not able to complete an upgrade in a single window of the maintenance window. So there are different messages that come out at different sites that sometimes just flood the TTY during the time that you're doing the upgrade, and we try to filter those and suppress them during an upgrade, and there's usually a few additional messages that we add each time that would have been discovered at one site or another. So during the upgrade process, when you're doing the split load, the clocks for the port controllers are sometimes still trying to regain their sync to the core. We've added a capability within the upgrade so that if you're doing a split load while you're doing an upgrade, that if the port controller's clock is still trying to attain sync, it is running in a free mode, and we know that when we started the upgrade that it was synced, so we know that the clocks are capable of being there. We perform the split load like a split load immediate, which overrides blocking it due to the port controller's clocks. If a core controller clock is not getting its sync, we would still block this until that gets corrected. But a port controller will regain shortly after we start bringing everything back together. It's just a matter of timing. It doesn't affect any of the call processing of those things. We've also enhanced some of the information we collect at the beginning and end of the upgrade about MMB trunk groups and trunk group hosts so that those get moved back to the status they were in. It has to be done manually, but at least you have the information at the beginning and the end of what's there so you know what you have to complete. So there you have what we've put into the release 22.
Okay. Thank you, Jim. Okay. That concludes our presentation. Adrian, if you would, let's open it up for questions.
Sure, buddy. Okay, so we have one from Frank Volk. I don't know if you can see that, buddy. It's pinned on the top of the Q&A window.
There. Okay, so the question is, in regards to NG911, does or will the C15 have the capability to perform a real-time data dip with an outside list provider? Then insert the received location information into the SIP header of the 911 call in real time. Jim, can you take that one?
So we do not query an external database.
Any additional question on that, Frank?
Okay, Frank, I'm going to open your mic. Hold on a second. You're raising your hands. I'm going to open the mic and the camera. Okay.
Good morning. Thanks for a presentation and take my question. So, as we, in different states, the rollout of NG911 is happening at different speeds, but one of the aspects is phase 2, which would require location information to be sent to the 911 coordinator, provider, whatever. And so that information, that location information needs to be included in that 911 call. And so just was curious if that was functionality that it sounds like Ribbon does not have that in C15 today, but would they add that in the C15 in the future? And if not, we'll have to, of course, be thinking about, or hear from Ribbon, what is their plan to help facilitate obtaining that list information in the call setup?
So a couple of things about that. Of course, if you have SIP devices, and if those SIP devices are capable of including location information, we do forward that on to 911 centers. But of course, for all the TDM equipment, we do not today. And the instances that I'm aware of, they are going through another office that is doing that aggregation for them.
Yep. So is that something that the SWE, if that's the name you guys still use for that, your SBC, is that something that product can perform, or do we have to be looking at something different?
I don't know the answer about the SWE doing it.
Okay.
The ones I'm aware of are actual external switches where it's essentially tandeming the 911 and it's going to get the information there.
Okay. Well, thanks. I'll probably follow up with our Ribbon account person for more details.
Right.
Yes,
Okay,
please, Frank, reach out and we'll even reply to the emails I've been sending, and I will connect you with the right person.
Thanks, Adrian.
No problem.
Thank you for your questions, Frank.
Anyone, another question, or raise your hand and we can do the same. I can open the mic for you. No, it seems that we don't have any left, Buddy. So let's give a big thank you to our engineers for sharing his insights today. Thank you, team. From all of us here at Ribbon, thanks again. Have an awesome day, and we'll catch you at the next session. Please, anything you need, contact us, reply to the email. I'm going to send the replay too, and we are here to help. Thank you, Buddy. Thank you, James. Thank you, Norman.
Thank you, Adrian.
Thank you, Andrew.
Bye.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
All right.